And good evening, everybody. Welcome to continuing coverage of Tewksbury Memorial High School boys basketball here on Tewksbury TV on a Tuesday night here at the Romano. It's an MVC matchup between the Billerica Indians and your Tewksbury Redmen. Good evening, I'm Vince Allo, flying solo. Hopefully Andrew Delapiana is listening in the Syracuse area. It was good to work with him over the holidays. Matchup tonight, 1-8 overall, your Redmen against the 2-4 Indians of Billerica. Officials for tonight's ball game, Paul Slattery, Larry Kavanaugh, and Lauren Stead. The JV game concluded a short time ago. That was won by Tewksbury by a score of 64-45. Cullen Mangan is the PA. Off to my right and across the Romano, high above the court, is our cameraman for Tewksbury TV, Steve Perfume. It'll be Luke Montoyo, Michael Sullivan, Brian Carlton, Johnny Sullivan, and Ryan Cuvier getting the starting nod tonight, and the opening tap controlled by Montoyo for the Redmen. So Cuvier operates on the left block. The spinner's around and no good, and it's cleared away by the Indians with Jason Martin, Austin Brune, Connor Gibson, Cole Dillon, and Brady Martin, the starting five. Just underway here at the Romano. First possession of the ball game for the Indians against the Redmen. Intense man-to-man to start things off. Brune on the bounce goes inside to Dillon. Now Martin operates to the left side block. The lefty layup by Martin was no good, and Montoyo clears it away for the Redmen. Ahead of the pack, Johnny Sullivan to Ryan Cuvier, off the backboard and in. And the Redmen take the first lead of the ball game with 7:09 left in the opening frame. They go on top 2-0, and they apply some full court pressure off of the made Cuvier basket. Now the pressure relents just a little bit, and the Indians operate in the forecourt with Gibson working on Michael Sullivan. Hands it off to Martin. Three ball from the right wing is good by Brady Martin. Not a good night for Brady last night. A good start for Brady tonight. For the Indians, the first three-pointer of the ball game belongs to Brady Martin. Billerica with that 3-2 lead as Michael Sullivan hops and skips into the lane, and he's going to be whistled for the travel. Coach Steve Boudreau and his Tewksbury Redmen at 1-8 on the season, really trying to get those turnovers to a minimum if they can tonight. And there's a trap right at the mid-court line, broken by Billerica. Now they reset the offense with 20 on the shot clock. That's Gibson against Carlton. Gibson on the fadeaway from the corner, doink off the rim, and it's cleared away by Michael Sullivan. Here come the Redmen. 2 minutes into the ball game, it's a 3-2 Indian lead. Carlton from the right wing gives it up to Cuvier between the circles. In the lane, has it poked away by Gibson, who's ahead of the pack with it. The floater in the lane off the back of the iron, and it's cleared away by Cuvier. 3-on-2 for the Redmen. Carlton lines up the three ball right wing off the rim short, and it's run down by Martin, who gets it off to Gibson. Still a 3-2 lead for the Indians early going in this first quarter. And the little scoop shot inside with the left hand for Martin. Martin's got all 5 Indian points. They've got a 5-2 lead. 5:20 left in this first period. Got a foul away from the ball. It's going to be on Cole Dillon, his first, team's first. No substitutions as of yet. And the freshman Johnny Sullivan will put the ball into play on the right baseline for the Redmen. Gets it into Cuvier. He skips it up to Sullivan. They operate on the right wing, cross court to Carlton. 3 balls away in the corner. It's off the iron, and it's rebounded by Dillon. Conley hands it off to Jason Martin, who works against Carlton's man-to-man. 3 minutes into the ball game, it's a 5-2 Billerica lead. Brady Martin to the right wing. Gibson now works on Michael Sullivan's intense defense with 13 in the shot clock. Roars to the baseline. It's picked off by Cuvier. Cuvier quickly into the forecourt, down the left lane, off the window and in. Cuvier with all 4 Redmen points. In fact, it's Brady Martin 5, Ryan Cuvier 4 here in this first quarter. Here's the aforementioned Brady Martin on the give inside to Dillon, and it's blocked out of there by the Redmen on the interior. Johnny Sullivan, the freshman, dances with it at the free throw line, spins, goes to a cutting Monteo, who lays it off the glass and in. Tewksbury with the 6-5 lead. Halfway through the first period here at the Romano. And the Indians break the press the other way. It's going to be a foul on Johnny Sullivan as Cole Dillon went to the bucket after the Indians broke the Redmen full court press. First free throws of the ball game. Cole Dillon, number 15, a junior, will be shooting 2. 3:56 left in this first period from the Romano. It's short off the iron. Best he can do is tie it. First substitution as Zach Tomasetti into the ball game for the Indians, replacing Connor Gibson. Original starters on the floor for your Redmen had that 6-5 lead. Not for long, and we're tied. And actually another substitution for the Billerica Indians. Josiah Tweebay is into the ball game. Junior forward replaces Cole Dillon. Here's Carlton with it for your Redmen in the right corner. We're tied at 6. The freshman Sullivan over to Cuvier. 3 balls away, it's long. Rebounded by Monteo, powers it up and in. 4 for Monteo, 4 for Cuvier. It's an 8-6 Redmen lead. Billerica now operates in the forecourt, down the lane, uncontested for the lefty layup by Austin Brune. Tying it up, Redmen quickly the other way. Cuvier off the window and in. Excellent execution of transition by your Redmen to take that 10-8 lead. Doink off the iron is a 3 ball from Jason Martin, cleared away by Luke Monteo. Here comes Cuvier, crosses over on the perimeter, kicks it back to Monteo. Sullivan between the circles to Carlton, right wing. In the lane, shut off there. Cuvier with 20 on the shot clock, spins to the left baseline. Sullivan off the iron, no good, and it's rebounded by Billerica. Quickly the other way. Tomasetti in the lane, down the lane, and it goes off his leg. Tewksbury substitutions. Kyle Cummings, number 10, coming in, as well as Roman Lorick. And they will replace Michael Sullivan and Luke Monteo. Monteo off to a quick start with 4. Cuvier with 6, making up the 10 Redmen points in that 2-point lead, 10-8. Johnny Sullivan, Kyle Cummings, Brian Carlton, Ryan Cuvier, and Roman Lorick, the 5 on the floor for your Redmen. And there's Cuvier with it, kicks it back for the right wing shot behind the arc for Cummings, short off the iron. Here come the Indians. Jason Martin gives it back to Brune to the left side. Shut off there. Brune now, the southpaw, lines up the 3 ball. It's no good. Cuvier takes it off the rafters for the Redmen. To Roman Lorick, 3 balls away. Good. Billerica slow in getting back in transition defense, and the Redmen make him pay. They got that 5-point lead, just under 2 minutes left, opening quarter. It's 13-8. And the bench is into it for your Redmen. Unfortunately, also into it is Brady Martin. He's got 7 in the ball game already, looking to make it 8. That's going to be the second personal on Johnny Sullivan. Is now Brady Martin looking for the conventional, old school, old-fashioned 3-point play. Another lefty for Billerica. The free throw's away. It's good. Eight in the ball game for Martin, 8 of the 11. Under a minute and a half in this first quarter from the Romano. It's a 2-point Redmen lead. The 3 ball is away on the right-hand side by Melindwa, who checked in. Melindwa checked in, as did Tweebase. Tweebase has already been in there for a minute, but Melindwa checked in a moment ago. Johnny Sullivan gets a breather. A.J. Sini seeing his first action here tonight with the basketball and a 2-point Redmond lead. 1:10 left in the first quarter. Here's Sini, and he traveled on the perimeter. Cummings, Sini, Carlton, Lorick, and Cuvier, the 5 on the floor for the Redmen. Tomasetti in the backcourt works on Sini's full court defense. Good luck with that. And he does break the timeline. Gets it off to Melindwa, right side hash mark. To the right wing, under a minute to play. Melindwa up top and now to the right wing for the three-pointer. Good for Martin. He's got 11 already in this ball game, and it's a 1-point lead for Billerica. And the Redmen turn it over as Sini crossed over the defender and tried to leave it off for Cummings, who couldn't get possession of the ball. It's a turnover for the Redmen. Billerica basketball is still inbounds. Martin with it, works on Cummings' defense. Hands it off to Tomasetti, who dances between the circles. They swing it to the left wing, and Cuvier picks up the foul on the perimeter. Last thing you want to see if you're Coach Boudreau is a reach-in foul from your senior forward, Ryan Cuvier. Only the first on Cuvier, third on the team. Shot clock is off, 18 ticks on the clock in this first period, and a 1-point Billerica lead with the basketball. Melindwa between the circles to the left now for Martin. Now Tomasetti goes to Melindwa, right side, lays it up and in. With 1 second, Lorick gets the shot away. It's no good. And that ends play here in this first quarter. Our score after 1 from the Romano, Billerica 16, Tewksbury 13. We'll be back with second quarter action after this on Tewksbury TV. And we're getting set for the second quarter of action here from the Romano on the campus of Tewksbury Memorial High School. Think back to a night ago down in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady had a night to forget. Here in the greater Boston area, Brady Martin is off to a night he hopes to never forget. He's already got 11 in the ball game, 11 of the 16 for Billerica, who opened the second quarter with that 3-point lead and the basketball. Tomasetti against Sini. Great defense by Sini. Tomasetti breaks it. Gets it off for Brady Martin, who was short. Proved he is human after all. On that miss, Lorick left wing to Sini. Cross court they wanted to go, and Cummings turned it over. Martin in the lane, leaves it off for the 3-ball, good. Zach Tomasetti with the 3-pointer, largest lead of the ball game thus far for Billerica. It's up to 6. Roman Lorick tries to answer, off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Tweebase. Here come the Indians with a 6-point lead in the basketball. Tomasetti to the right wing. Over to Martin, to the other Martin. Martin pulls up from the left elbow, it's no good. It's rebounded by Tweebase, or Melindwa, I'm sorry. Tried to go into Tweebase and it's taken away. Luke Monteo with the defense there on the inside for the Redmen, trying to get their first points of this second period. The 3-pointers away from the left corner by Cummings, it's no good. And the fast break the other way, also no good by Martin. Cummings gets it off to the timeline for Sini. Hesitation in the lane, down the lane. They're going to call him for the carry. It's going to be a turnover against A.J. Sini. Johnny Sullivan and Ryan Cuvier return to the Redmen lineup. Melindwa in the lane, down the lane, off the window and in. Elijah Melindwa the other way. Here comes Cuvier, hard to the bucket, off the window and in. Nobody picked up Ryan Cuvier, who took it the length of the floor on the right side for his 8th point of the ball game. With 6:01 left in this first half, it's a 21-15 lead for the Indians. This is the first of 3 games this week for the Redmen. They travel to Shawsheen Tech tomorrow, and then they're back here at the Romano on Friday night against Drake-It. The first of 3. This is like a pro schedule for the Redmen. Let's see if they can get it off to a good start.
20, Phil Lombardi.
Got to add someone to the lineup here. Number 20, Philip Lombardi. Didn't have that on my my roster, and Philip's in the ball game. Lombardi with Michael Sullivan, Ryan Cuvier, Luke Monteo, and Johnny Sullivan. Jason Martin, Zach Tomasetti, Josiah Tweebays, Elijah Malindwa, and Connor Gibson, the 5 on the floor for the Billerica Indians in their road dark green unis. Your home team, Tewksbury Redmen, in their home whites. Malindwa in the backcourt against Cuvier's press. Odd out of the timeout. They break the pressure with Martin, Jason Martin, for Tomasetti, operating on Cuvier's defense. Shot clock at 17. Billerica with the ball in that 6-point lead. Jason Martin, right wing. Over to Malindwa. Backs it up on the left side of the lane. Cross court into the right corner for Tomasetti's 3, no good. Rebounded by Cuvier, who runs it down. It's poked away. Scramble for it, and the Indians control. Fresh shot clock as Connor Gibson came out of there with it. And down the lane goes Malindwa for the hoop and the harm. Score the bucket. Fouls on Luke Monteo, his first, 4th on the team. Elijah Malindwa looking to cap off the 3-point play, and he does so. He's got 5 already in this second period as Brian Carlton comes back in to replace Philip Lombardo. Lombardo or Lombardi? Lombardi. Gotcha. Thanks, Colin. Redmen trail by 9. Michael Sullivan dances out of the pressure, and he gets fouled in the baseline as he put it to the floor. Picks up the foul on Elijah Malindwa, his first, 2nd on the team. Off the lob, Monteo, nobody picked him up, around the rim and out. Circled the drain and came out for Luke Monteo off the inbounds. And the Billerica Indians in the forecourt against the Redmen man-to-man, looking to make it their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 9 already with 4:46 left in this first half. Off the curl on the left side is Jason Martin. Now to Malindwa, right wing, 3 balls away, no good. Carlton comes out of there with it. Has it poked away by Tweebays momentarily. He maintains possession. Johnny Sullivan in the lane, down the lane, left-hand shot is good! Score the bucket for the freshman. And the first foul on number 1, Jason Martin. What a move for Johnny Sullivan. Down the lane. Used his left hand as he crossed over the defense at the free throw line, went hard into the paint. And he converts the 3-point play. He's in the score column for the first time here tonight. Cuts the lead to 6. Just under 4.5 to play in this first half. Billerica with the ball in the 6-point lead. Malindwa still with the dribble, pink shoes and all. We got an offensive foul. Fouls on Josiah Tweebays, his first. 4th on the team. Redmen trying to cut down on that 6-point Billerica Indian lead with Michael Sullivan left wing. Lobs it into Monteo, left block. Turns, faces, gets it to Sullivan. to the other Sullivan, the youngster, to Cuvier, inside to Monteo, and he turns it into a bucket. Brian Carlton feels left out. He was the only Redman that did not touch the basketball on that possession. Nonetheless, they converted on the Monteo layup, and Cuvier with the deflection ahead of the pack. Johnny Sullivan, the freshman, off the window and in. Redmen have cut it to 2. It was 9 a moment ago. A 7-0 run for your Redmen. Johnny Sullivan with 5 here in this second period, the freshman. Got just under 3.5 to play in the first half. It's a 2-point lead for the Indians with the basketball. The scoop shot with the left hand for Tomasetti's no good. Monteo takes it off the rim. Here come the Redmen with it. Carlton, left wing. Back to Johnny Sullivan. He sets the offense. Carlton, left wing to the left baseline. Back for Cuvier now. Cuvier double team, goes to the floor. And with the possession of the basketball, a quick timeout taken by Billerica coach Mark Mastrullo. Brady Martin had possession of the basketball on the floor. So a timeout taken by the Indians, who have that 2-point lead with 3:02 left in this first half. And Brady Martin, who got possession of the loose ball on the floor, had 11 points in that first period. He's been held scoreless here in the second. Johnny Sullivan, the talented freshman for the Redmen, with 5 of the Redmen 9 here in this second period. Again, it's a busy week for the Redmen. We'll have 2 games on Tewksbury TV, obviously tonight, and Friday night as they host Drake-It. In between, they go on the road to play Shawsheen tomorrow night. So a busy week for the Redmen boys basketball team. Out of the timeout, it's Cuvier, Johnny Sullivan, Michael Sullivan, Brian Carlton, and Luke Monteo for the Redmen. Connor Gibson, Zach Tomasetti, Elijah Malindwa, Brady Martin, and Josiah Tweebase on the floor for the Indians. Malindwa hands it off to Tomasetti. Crosses over at the free throw line on Sullivan, and Sullivan blocks it. Malindwa comes up with the loose ball, gets it off for the deflection. Cuvier deflected the shot attempt by Gibson. And here's Cuvier with it in the forecourt. Leaves it back for Sullivan. 3-ball straight on, off the rim, no good. Cuvier gets it, scoops it back up, off the window and in. Cuvier in double figures now with 10 to tie it at 24. It was 24-15 a blink ago, just like that. A 9-0 run for the home team Redmen to tie it at 24. Malindwa, cross court. Gibson's 3-ball off the rim, no good. Tweebase runs it down, gets it off to Brady Martin. Good defense by Johnny. On the spot, Sullivan. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. We're deadlocked at 24. Tweebase into the lane. It's blocked by Monteo. The loose ball was battled for between Tomasetti and Carlton wins the battle. It's the Redmen possession. Austin Bruin back into the lineup for the Indians, replacing Josiah Tweebase. Original starters on the floor for the Redmen: Cuvier, Sullivan, Carlton, Sullivan, Monteo. Cuvier with it, left of the lane to Michael Sullivan. Inside, Monteo faces, scoops it off to Cuvier. 3-ball off the rim and out. Didn't miss by much from the right corner. Would have been huge. He's got 10 in the ball game. Would have given him 13, and a Redmen a 3-point lead. However, we are still tied at 24. Martin over to Bruin on the right wing. Shot clock's at 15. Bruin operates on Monteo. Shut down there, nowhere to go. And the scoop shot by Malindwa was no good. Rebounded by the Redmen. Johnny Sullivan tried to go long up the right sideline for Carlton. It was picked off by Gibson. Under a minute to play. First half tied at 24. 22 on the shot clock. They get the ball to the left side block to Brune. Off the window, no good. Rebounded by Monteo. Johnny Sullivan in the forecourt. Spins, stops, fires. It's short, no good. Michael Sullivan nearly had the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Tomasetti. Down the lane, the scoop shot is no good. Rebounded by Monteo. 25 on the game clock. The shot clock is off. Here's Cuvier, 3-ball. Good! There's that 13 and 3-point lead for the Redmen. Cuvier with 13 in this first half, with 10 on the game clock. With 7. Malindwa to the free throw line for the 3-ball. To try to answer was Tomasetti, no good. And that ends play here in the first half. Our score at the half from the Romano. In boys basketball action, the Redmen 27, the Billerica Indians 24. We'll be back with the second half after this timeout. Redmen will have control of the basketball to start the third period. Cuvier, Sullivan, Johnny that is, Brian Carlton, Michael Sullivan, and Luke Monteo on the floor for the Redmen with the basketball and the 3-point lead. Michael Sullivan, Cuvier, left wing to Sullivan in the lane. Gives it back to Johnny Sullivan. The one-hander push shot is no good from the free throw line. It's rebounded by Brune. Jason Martin, Austin Brune, Connor Gibson, Cole Dillon, and Brady Martin on the floor. And Brady Martin on the backdoor feed from Brune lays it in. Martin now with 13, tying Cuvier with a game high 13 points. Cuts the lead to 1, 27-26 for the Redmen. Johnny Sullivan down the lane. He got tripped on the perimeter as he roared to the bucket. It's on Jason Martin, his first on the team. And the student body section is representing here tonight for the Redmen at the Romano. As Cuvier off the inbounds, leaves it back for Michael Sullivan down the lane, and an offensive foul. First on Michael Sullivan, first on the team. Redmen at 1-8, Indians at 2-4. 1-point lead for the Redmen. Billerica with the basketball in the forecourt. Brune had it poked away with 20 on the shot clock. Gibson on the perimeter gets a screen out top from Dillon. Fires the 3-ball. It's an air ball, rebounded by Johnny Sullivan. Here come the Redmen, and he double dribbled. That's a turnover, but not many to this point in the ball game for the Redmen. Something they have really, really reduced thus far in this ball game, and thus they have the 1-point lead. But the Indians operate on the left side block. Brune faces and fires on Cuvier, and Cuvier fouled him. Second on Cuvier, second on the team. Austin Brune will be at the line shooting 2. Chance to tie it or take the lead for the Indians. Good crowd on hand here tonight at the Romano. Shot is away, it's good. We're tied at 27. 3-0 run here in the early going in the third period for the Indians to tie it up at 27. And they now have the lead. Austin Brune gives the Indians a 1-point lead, and they apply some full court pressure off the 2 made free throws. And the freshman Johnny Sullivan operates against Jason Martin into the forecourt. Lob to the free throw line to Cuvier. Now to Carlton, right corner. Shut off there. Michael Sullivan spins to the right side block, out of control, and he loses control of the ball. And it's picked up by Connor Gibson. Here come the Indians now with a 1-point lead and the basketball. Just over 2 minutes gone in this third period. 3 balls away around the rim and out from Jason Martin. Rebounded by Michael Sullivan. Hands it off to the younger cousin Johnny Sullivan into the forecourt. Between the legs, cross court to Carlton on the baseline to the left. To Michael Sullivan, to Johnny Sullivan, now to Cuvier. 3 balls away, off the rim, no good. Tries to battle for the loose ball, and it's scooped up by Cole Dillon. Here come the Indians now. They operate in the forecourt with the dribble. Bruin in the 1-point lead. Leaves it off for Brady Martin. It's an air ball through the hands of Carlton into the hands of Gibson. On the bounce, poked away by Michael Sullivan with the shot clock at 15. 1-point lead for the Indians, 28-27. And it's poked away by Johnny Sullivan, stolen by Carlton, and he got fouled. Fouls on Cole Dillon, his second, team second. Kyle Cummings getting some action here tonight, replacing Michael Sullivan. Junior guard Kyle Cummings into the lineup. Freshman point guard Johnny Sullivan slowly into the forecourt. To Carlton on the left wing, goes to Monteo, left block. To Cummings, 3 ball short. Weak side rebound is taken down by Bruin. Gets it off to Martin now. 1-point lead for the Indians. Here on Tewksbury TV, I'm Vince Allo from the Romano. Good ball game we got for you tonight. Bruin shut off there to Jason Martin. Now the 3 ball to Brady Martin, off the rim, no good. Here come the Redmen, quickly the other way. Ahead of the pack, Carlton can't catch up to it. He loses it on the baseline. And just a few moments after I mentioned the turnovers were being reduced, they're starting to add up for the Redmen here in this third. Redmen still scoreless about halfway through this third period. They led it by 3 at the half. They now trail it by 1. Dillon to the lane, shovels it off for Gibson. He tried to scoop it for Jason Martin. He couldn't catch up to it. As Roman Lorick into the lineup, number 5 for the Redmen, replacing Luke Monteo. Exactly midway through this third period, the Redmen still looking to get their first points of the third. And it won't happen on this possession, as Jason Martin beats Johnny Sullivan to the floor, and the Redmen turn it over again. Connor Gibson, a little limp to him right there. He's hurt himself on the last possession, but he seems to be okay now. Brady Martin, top of the key for Bruin. Now Martin with 20 on the shot clock. Back to Bruin, right baseline. Operates on Carlton, the lefty, off the backboard, no good. It's rebounded by Dillon. Cole Dillon with the aggressive offensive rebound, and now the Indians have a 3-point lead, and Coach Boudreau wants to talk things over. A 6-0 run here in this third period has shifted the momentum towards the Billerica Indians. They now lead it 30-27. After the Redmen had that 27-24 lead at the break. The Redmen still looking to get their first points of this third period. They had 13 in the first, 14 in the second, and the Goose Egg thus far in this third with 3:25 left on the clock. Coach Boudreau badly needed that timeout as he started to see the momentum shifting to Billerica. 13 in the ball game for Brady Martin to lead the Indians. 13 in the ball game for Cuvier to lead the Redmen. Jason Martin, Austin Bruin, Connor Gibson, Cole Dillon, and Brady Martin, the starters on the floor for the Indians. Out of the timeout, the Redmen counter with Carlton, Lorick, Sini, who's in, Cummings, and Cuvier. Let's see what the Redmen do out of the timeout. They got to get a bucket here. Scoreless with 3:21 left in the third. Looking to get their first points of the quarter. Here's Cuvier to the lane, off the window, and he got fouled. Fouls on Austin Bruin, his first, third on the team. If I look at the whiteboard down there on the Coach Boudreau sideline, the play he drew up out of the timeout, get the ball to Cuvier. Says it in block letters. Didn't get the free throw, and back the other way, ahead of the pack for the layup is Jason Martin. Pushes the lead back up to 3, 32-29 with 3 minutes left in the third. Threes all around. Cuvier, the southpaw senior, kicks it back for Lorick. Cross court to Cini, and he can't control it. And the defensive intensity is really ramped up here in this third by the Indians. An 8-2 run by Billerica to give him that 3-point lead and the basketball in this third. 2:45 left on the clock, 25 on the shot clock. Brady Martin, the lefty, to the left of the lane, leaves it back for Jason Martin. Inside for the shot, blocked by Cuvier. The shot by Dillon was blocked. And Dillon picks up the foul, his third. Cole Dillon thought he had a wide open layup. Ryan Cuvier said, hold the phone. Rejected it out of bounds. The Redmen have control of the basketball now as Carlton comes out. Johnny Sullivan back in for the Redmen. For the Indians, 13 back in, Josiah Tweebays. Replacing Cole Dillon, who's got those 3 fouls for the Indians. And Cuvier picks up the foul. That's his third. Illegal screen, 25 feet from the basket. Definitely not what Coach Boudreau wanted to see on that possession. Cuvier's got 3. I mentioned threes all around. That's a big 3 right there. 3-point lead in the third, just under 3, approaching the 2-minute mark to be precise. Indians with it. Get the ball inside. It's blocked by Cuvier. Tweebays thought he had a wide open layup. There's Cuvier again. Lorick's layup is no good. Here come the Indians the other way. Executing the fast break, and Tweebays lays it in. The lead is now 5 for the Indians. As Cuvier shut off on the baseline to Lorick. Now to Cini. They swing it to the left wing for Johnny Sullivan. Now to Cummings. The lefty shot off the rim, no good. And it's rebounded by Tweebays. Here come the Indians with the 5-point lead and the basketball as we come up on a minute and a half left in the third. Cummings goes to the floor trying to come up with it, and the only thing he comes up with is a foul. First on Kyle Cummings, 4th on the team. Michael Sullivan and Luke Monteo back in, replacing Cummings and Cuvier. It's a substitution Coach Boudreau had to make with a minute and a half left in the third, and Cuvier with 3. Could ill afford to have him pick up a cheap 4th. From way downtown, the 3-ball doink off the rim by Gibson. Here come the Redmen the other way. Sullivan can't catch up to it, and the turnovers are starting to add up here in this third. A third period that has the Redmen with only 2 points to speak of. Joseph Green getting his first action here tonight for the Indians, replacing Bruin. He gets the basketball to break the press. And leaves it back for Jason Martin. 1:10 left third period, 5-point lead for the Indians with the basketball. Green in the lane, skips it across court to Brady Martin. Now to Jason Martin, and he's fouled by Cini on the perimeter. First on Cini, but the 5th on the team. 58.3 left in this third period, a fresh shot clock for the Indians with that 5-point lead. Connor Gibson right side of the wing to Brady Martin, now to Jason Martin. 25 on the shot clock. Good defense by Johnny Sullivan on the perimeter. We're down to 18 on the shot clock. Here's Green with it. To the left side of the lane. Johnny Sullivan rips it out of there, and we got a foul, I believe. That is a foul on Joseph Green in the green. 15th foul on the Indians. A.J. Sini comes back out. And I think Carlton came in for Sini. Shot clock is off. 32 seconds left in this third. Big possession here for the Redmen. Only 2 points to speak of in this third period. They trail by 5. Johnny Sullivan with 20 on the shot clock. Cross court to Michael Sullivan. Cousins play catch. 15 on the shot clock. Michael Sullivan still with it in front of the Redmen bench. With the dribble to Johnny Sullivan with 8 seconds. Sullivan splits the double team, goes to the bucket, and he got fouled. It'll be the 6th on the team. And the 2nd on Josiah Tweebase. Cuvier comes back in, Michael Sullivan out. With 6.4 seconds left in this third, they lob it to Cuvier to the free throw line. Has it poked away momentarily. Lorick comes up with it, shots away, it's off the rim, no good. It would have counted had it gone, but it did not, so it won't. Our score after 3 here at the Romano. A 10-2 run for the Indians gives them that 5-point lead as we head to the 4th quarter. Our score after 3, Billerica 34, Tewksbury 29. We'll have the 4th quarter for you after this quick timeout. There's the second horn here at the Romano. An MVC matchup in boys basketball on Tewksbury TV. I'm Vince Allo, our cameraman Steve Perfume. And off to my right, Cullen Mangan, the voice of the Romano from high above. Again, a 10-2 run in that third period by the Indians. After the Redmen led it by 3 at the break, the Indians used that 10-2 run in the third to take this 5-point advantage as we head to the 4th quarter. Cuvier, Carlton, Monteo, Lorick, and Johnny Sullivan on the floor for the Redmen. Gibson, Green, Tweebase, Martin and Martin on the floor for the Indians with the basketball. That's Green with it. Loses the dribble to Tweebase, left wing. Now to Jason Martin. To Green, down the lane, shut off by Cuvier. Shot clock's at 12. Very patient, deliberate are the Indians on this possession. It ends up in the hands of Martin for the 3 ball, no good. Green on the rebound, no good. And it's run down by Gibson. He stops on the baseline and nails the baseline jumper. It's now a 12-2 run here in the second half. Monteo tried to go on the cut to Johnny Sullivan. He runs it down. Attempted the reverse layup, no good, but he got fouled. Jason Martin picks up his 3rd. That'll send Johnny Sullivan, the freshman, to the free throw line to shoot 2. Only 2 free throws to speak of in this ball game for the Redmen. They're 1 of 2. Just underway here in the 4th. Sullivan knocks it down. 36-30, Billerica. Number 2, the freshman, Johnny Sullivan, gets them both. And the Redmen apply some full court pressure as Cuvier checks Martin, who roars into the forecourt, hands it off to Gibson. Gibson on Carlton. Over to Tweebase. Martin back to Gibson. Now to Green. Tweebase right wing. 14 on the shot clock. Martin spins into the lane, tries to go behind the back to Tweebase, can't catch up to it, and Carlton's got it in the backcourt. Nearly a turnover, but Brian Carlton saved the possession in the backcourt. Monteo in the right corner. Minute and a half gone in this 4th, and the ball is poked away by Green. For the Green, down the lane. Leaves it off for Brady Martin. He can't catch up to it, out of bounds, off of Martin. Melindwa and Brune check into the lineup for the Indians. Tweebase and Jason Martin get a break. Carlton, Johnny Sullivan, Ryan Cuvier, Luke Monteo, and Roman Lorick on the floor for the Redmen, trailing by 5. Just underway here in this fourth. Carlton from way downtown, off the rim, no good, and it's cleared away by Brune for the Indians. To Melindwa. Just over 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. 5-point lead for the Indians. And we have an illegal screen on the perimeter. Didn't see who that foul was on. Was it on? Well, it's number 12. That is a second on Green. Who got that three? Johnny Sullivan, the freshman, with the three. He's got 5 in the quarter. Cuts the lead to 2. That's what happens. You put your head down to check the score column, and Johnny Sullivan makes you pay for it with a 3-pointer. Cuvier nearly poked it away. Loose ball inside Green, off the backboard and in. Coming up on 5 left in the fourth. We got a good one here at the Romano on a Tuesday night in boys basketball on Tewksbury TV. Cuvier on the cut, no good. On the rebound, he gets it back off the window, no good. He goes to the floor hard. And Melindwa comes out of there with it. Cuvier does not want to pick up a foul that far in the backcourt. They get the ball on the cut inside to Brady Martin. He lays it in. You know, just like that, the Redmen cut it to 2. And a 4-0 run for the Indians pushed the lead back up to 6, 40-34, with 4:43 left in this fourth period. I'm Vince Allo on the call here on Tewksbury TV. Steve Perfume across the way, operating the camera from high above the Romano. We'll be back here on Friday night for boys basketball as they host Drake It right here at 6:30 on Tewksbury TV. In between, the Redmen go tomorrow to Shawsheen. So again, I've said it a few times here tonight, and I'll repeat it. It bears repeating. It's a big week for the Redmen boys basketball team with 3 games this week. Out of the timeout, the Redmen will have Cuvier, Monteo, Lorick, Johnny Sullivan, and Brian Carlton. The Indians will counter with Joseph Green, Brady Martin, Elijah Melindwa, Austin Brune, and Connor Gibson. In a 6-point game, and momentarily, the Redmen cut it to 2 just a moment ago. And a quick 4-0 run for the Indians pushed that lead quickly back up to 6. Redmen will have the basketball on the baseline in the backcourt. Clock moves, as does Johnny Sullivan into the forecourt now. 4:36 left in the fourth. Out of the timeout, looks like, yeah, they're still in the man-to-man, are the Indians. I thought momentarily they had switched it to a zone. And Cuvier couldn't catch up to it in the corner. Austin Brune applied the pressure, and Cuvier couldn't control it. And right in front of the Tewksbury student body here at the Romano. And here come the Indians now with the basketball and the 6-point lead with 4:20 left in the fourth. Gibson to Brune to Green, right elbow, shut off there. 17 on the shot clock. Brune leaves it back for Martin. Check that, that's Gibson Tries to go inside to Brady Martin. He can't catch up to it. And the Indians turn it over. At the midway point of this fourth, only 7 points in this second half so far for the Redmen. Gone cold at the offensive end. Johnny Sullivan to Monteo. Lorik's 3-ball hits the rim a few times. Carlton comes up with it, and then it's knocked out of bounds off of Green. Fresh 35 for the Redmen. They'll put it in play on the right baseline, left baseline. With Johnny Sullivan on the lob to Monteo. Too much for him to handle, too high, and here comes Malindwa. His layup is blocked. Brady Martin's got it off the backboard, no good, and Cuvier skies for the rebound and gets it off to Roman Lorik, now to Johnny Sullivan. To Brian Carlton, left wing. 3:20 left in the fourth. Monteo kicks it left wing for Carlton. 3-ball off the iron, no good, but he runs it down. Good hustle by Brian Carlton. A fresh shot clock now for the Redmen. Monteo thought about the 3 in the left corner. Now he puts it on the floor into the lane. He got fouled. Joseph Green on the foul, his third, team over the limit. Luke Monteo will be at the free throw line to shoot 2. Down by 6 are the Redmen. Shots away, it's good. Michael Sullivan will come in for Luke Monteo if he makes this free throw, which he does. Real funny story quickly. I played with a kid in college who knew if he was coming out, if he made the free throw, would miss it on purpose. Thought I'd hit you with that story on a Tuesday night. 3 minutes left in the fourth. It's a 4-point lead for the Indians with the basketball. Gibson on the bounce to Malindwa. Now to Green, who's in there with 3 fouls. Back to Gibson. Malindwa left wing. Cross-court pass in the corner. Green's 3 balls away. It's around the rim and out. And Lorik controls the rebound for the Redmen. 2:39 left in the fourth. Trailing by 4 with the basketball. Carlton, cross-court to Cuvier. Now to Lorik, 3-ball. Off the rim, no good. Johnny Sullivan controls the ball. Goes to the floor. Lorik still has it. 3-ball. Good! Johnny Sullivan went to the floor to get the basketball. He found Lorik, who knocked down his second 3-pointer of the game. It's a 1-point lead for the Indians and a timeout. Excuse me. Quick timeout taken by Billerica coach Mark Mastrullo. A 10-6 run now for the Redmen, as Lorik with 2 looks at the 3-point shot on that one possession. Great hustle by the freshman, Johnny Sullivan. Left it back for Lorik. He had a defender on his back, and he drained the 3, which cut the lead to 1 with 2:11 left in this fourth quarter. We've got a great finish for you coming up in the next 2:11 here at the Romano in boys basketball, an MVC matchup. Michael Sullivan, Roman Lorik, Brian Carlton, Johnny Sullivan, and Ryan Cuvier. The 5 will come off the bench after this timeout to take the floor for the Redmen. Austin Broom, Brady Martin, Elijah Malindwa, Connor Gibson, and Joseph Green will take the floor for the Indians after this timeout is over with, which it now is. We'll set the table for you. It's a 1-point lead for the Indians. They'll have the basketball. 2:11 left in this fourth. Possession arrow favors the Redmen also. Keep that in mind. Team fouls, 9 against the Indians, only 5 for the Redmen. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the fourth, in regulation. Green gets it to Martin. In the lane, leaves it back for Brune. Operates on Cuvier, and Cuvier picks up the foul on the drive. That'll be his 4th. 6th on the team. .157 left in regulation. Cuvier picks up his 4th. Indians with the basketball and the 1-point lead. Green to the free throw line. On the bounce inside to Brune. He goes to the bucket. He's fouled by Carleton. Only the first on Carleton, but Brune's going to go to the free throw line. 2 of 2 at the line tonight for Austin Brune, senior forward. Shots away, he misses. Best he can do is tie it. Great matchup. Going down to the wire here at the Romano. Brune second, off the rim, no good. Lorick runs it down and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Second on Brune, 10th on the team. When in Rome, do what Roman does. Knocked down a 3-ball a little while ago, and then dive on the floor for the loose ball to go to the free throw line with a chance to tie and or take the lead. First is away, good, we're tied. 7 in the ball game, 4 in the quarter for Lorick. Chance to take the lead. And he does. And someone gave a 7:40 wake-up call to the student body and a turnover. This is as loud as I've heard the Romano in some time. The Tewksbury student body said, can we get a 7:40 p.m. wake-up call? Because they are alive right now. 1-point lead in the basketball. Lorick, 3-ball, off the rim. Johnny Sullivan reached over the top. Foul on the Redmen. About to be a heat check on Lorick. He's got the last 5 for the Redmen. Elijah Melindwa will be at the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 1:40 left in the ball game. 41-40 is the score. Melindwa, doink off the rim. Carleton runs it down. Here come the Redmen. Johnny Sullivan quickly in the forecourt to Michael Sullivan. Left-handed layup, no good. Rebounded by the Indians. 1.5 minutes left. And a timeout taken by Billerica. Coach Boudreau wishes he could have that possession back. He had the basketball and a 1-point lead. And the Redmen just got a little bit too antsy. Missed the bucket, and the Indians get the basketball. 1:29 left in this 4th. It's a 1-point lead for the Redmen, 41-40. The Indians are over the bonus on the free throws with 10 team fouls, 18 fouls on the Redmen, so it's at least a 1-and-1 for the Indians with the next foul on Tewksbury. Tell you what, and Cullen, you agreed with me with that student section over there. Whew. That's what you like. You like to see that. They are fully behind their Redmen boys team tonight. Lorick, Cuvier, Michael Sullivan, Johnny Sullivan, Brian Carleton will take the floor for the Redmen. Needing a stop here at the defensive end. Keep in mind, Cuvier's on the floor with 4 fouls. I'm Vince Allo bringing you this ball game tonight on Tewksbury TV. We got 1:29 and now the clock moves, as does Gibson in the backcourt. to Malindwa. Green. And the student body section is leading the charge here with the defense chant. 15 on the shot clock. And another timeout taken by Billerica. Great defense by the Redmen. Safe to say the sixth man has showed up tonight at the Romano with 1:11 left in the regulation and a 1-point lead for the Redmen, 41-40. They were outscored 10-2 in the third. And they've outscored the Indians 12-6 here in the fourth. They led by 3 at the half. We're going down to the wire. Yes, I know that's a master of the obvious quote, but it's true. Lots of energy here tonight at the Romano. Lorick, Michael Sullivan, Johnny Sullivan, Brian Carlton, Ryan Cuvier, the 5 on the floor for the Redmen. Malindwa looks to put it in play, does so to Green. Back to Malindwa. We approach a minute left in the fourth quarter. Brady Martin shut off there, back to Green. Operates on Cuvier, no good. Rebounded by Johnny Sullivan, under a minute to play. Redmen with the ball and a 1-point lead. Carlton right corner, they're gonna work some clock. 50 seconds. Brian Carlton in front of the Redmen bench, back to Johnny Sullivan. And a timeout taken by Steve Boudreau. With 21 on the shot clock and 44 on the game clock. There was a key stretch earlier in the ball game when the Redmen called the timeout. They drew up a play for Cuvier and he converted. Let's see what the Redmen do here. Coming out of this timeout. Down below us off to my left, your right, from your vantage point here on Tewksbury TV, Coach Mark Mastrullo barks out the instructions to his Indian ball club. Possession arrow favors the Redmen. Should that situation arise. Indians are over the 2-shot limit. Redmen have 8 team fouls. Lorick, Sullivan, Cuvier, Carlton, the 5 on the floor for the Redmen out of the timeout with 21 on the shot clock. 44.1 on the game clock and a 1-point lead for the Redmen. They inbounds to Cuvier. He's in the lane. Cross court to Carlton. Malindwa on the defense. Now to Cuvier in the lane. Looking around. Ball is turned over and here comes the Indians. Gibson with it. .20 on the game clock. Shot clock is off. Malindwa, Brady Martin, right wing. Waves off Gibson. Gets it up to Malindwa now. To the free throw line and a timeout taken by Coach Mastrullo. The Redmen had possession. Cuvier just could not get control of the basketball, and a swarming defense by the Indians turns it over. This is where we are. 8.3 seconds left in regulation. 1-point lead for the Redmen, 41-40. If you're Coach Mastrullo, you may want to get the ball to Brady Martin. He's got 15 in the ball game, matching Cuvier with 15 for the Redmen. Again, over the 2-shot limit are the Indians, the Redmen with 18 fouls. Should that factor in? This is just great. I love this. I hope you're enjoying it as you watch this on Tewksbury TV. Got a full section across the way representing the student body of Tewksbury Memorial High School. They're into the ball game. Your Redmen are into the ball game. This is it right here, 8.3 seconds left. Green will look to put the ball into play. On the cut to Brune, off the backboard, no good. Malinwa has it. His shot, no good, he got fouled. Foul's gonna be on Roman Lorick, his first, 9th on the team. Senior guard Elijah Malinwa at the line to shoot 2. His team down by 1. Deafening here at the Romano. Coach Boudreau thought it was a 1-and-1, but Malinwa was going up for the shot, so it's 2 shots. Much to the chagrin of Coach Boudreau. Here's Malinwa. First shot's away, it's good. Monteo checks back in, replacing Carlton. With 3.4 seconds left in regulation, we're tied. Malinwa, second free throw, no good. Rebound and a timeout taken by the Redmen. Boudreau put Monteo in for that reason, to get the rebound, and he cleared it. 2.1 seconds left. A full timeout taken by Coach Steve Boudreau. Let's see what they draw up here. Now keep in mind, the Billerica Indians are over the 2-shot limit. Coach Boudreau wants to know where the ball is going to be for the inbounds. We are tied at 41 with 3 seconds left. The Redmen will have the basketball in the backcourt on the baseline. This has all the feels of a playoff game right now. And I got to tell you, if the Redmen score out of this inbounds play, that student body just might take to the floor. What will the Redmen do? Malinwa had a chance to win it. Got the first of 2 to tie it at 41. He missed the second. Johnny Sullivan will put it in play. Gets it to Carlton. Shots away, what happened? On the sideline, they called the foul on Malinwa. Second on Malinwa, team over the limit. Brian Carlton will shoot 2 at the free throw line. He has been scoreless tonight with an opportunity to get 1 or 2 of the biggest points of the evening for the Redmen. With 1.4 seconds left, he'll shoot 2. We are tied at 41. Carlton's first one is away. Good! Monteo in for Cuvier. Redmen lead it by 1. Here's the second free throw for Carleton. With 1.4 seconds left, it's away. Off the rim, missed it on purpose. Heads up play by Carleton. Oh my, what a play by Brian Carleton. The Redmen win it 42-41. We were tied with 1.3 seconds left. Carleton went to the free throw line. He made the first, missed the second intentionally off the rim, giving the Indians virtually no chance to get a shot off. What a finish here tonight at the Romano. It's a sweep in boys basketball for the Redmen. JV win it 64-45, and the varsity in a thriller. Final score, Tewksbury 42, Billerica 41. What a ball game. What a ball game. What a finish. That's going to put the wraps on this for tonight. We'll be back here Friday night for Tewksbury versus Dracut right here at the Romano. Again, from the Romano Gymnasium, final score, Tewksbury 42, Billerica 41. For our cameraman Steve Perfume, I'm Vince Allo on Tewksbury TV, wishing you all a very happy and safe rest of your evening.